Again, heavy rain, the main threat. Gusting wind, tornado threat is low, but it's not zero. Temperatures in the area right now range from 65 in Memphis to 72 in Oxford, mid and upper 60s just to our north. So there's still a lot of warm air. And between now and about 8 o'clock, scattered rain and storms are going to continue to fire up. But again, mainly along and south of that 40 corridor is where we're going to find the greatest amount of instability, the potential for the heavier downpours, hail, the gusting wind, and the isolated tornadoes. This should continue till around midnight. We get a little lull in the overnight hours, still some scattered showers into the early morning hours of Thursday, but another first alert weather day tomorrow as we see more rain and thunderstorms developing. Do we have a tornado warning? Tell you what, let's go over to the meteorologist Spencer Denton right now. Are you ready to go on the links?
Yes.
Because I want to take a look. You've got a tornado warning that's just been issued. Go ahead.
Just issued, yeah. As of 6:19, we have a tornado warning for portions of now Hardeman County. So if you're in Hardeman County, go ahead and take your tornado precautions. This includes the city of Bolivar, and that's what we're looking at right now. I'm going to switch this out here and give you a better view on links of what we're looking at. And again, just pulling this up here, and this is the storm that we're looking at. This is the storm near Bolivar. Large hail with this cell. Again, this includes Middleburg. It also includes Hornsby. Tornado warning goes for the next 45 minutes. This goes until 7 p.m. So that's 7 p.m. for these areas. Let me turn the interaction off, close the frame capture here. And Ron, it looks like this tornado warning is also going to include a very large hail core with this. I want to put a track on this real quick and show you the areas that will be impacted. Here's the core of the storm. It's moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So there's some of the areas that will be impacted, including Hornsby, Pine Top, Palestine, Robertson, Rose Creek, and Masseyville. That's within the next 30 minutes or so. Let's look at the rotation. There is the rotation. We can see it pretty clearly. This is a broad level rotation in the middle part of this storm, so it may be reaching the surface. This is a radar indicated tornado. This has not been seen on the ground necessarily, but a radar indicated tornado for these areas. The BTI, the Barron Tornado Index, Ron was just pointing out a second ago when we were watching this storm in the commercial break that it was at 2.7. It's now at 4.8. So a 4.8 on a scale of 1 to 10. So this is the potentially reaching the ground here in portions of West Tennessee. Let's go over to Ron Childers now. He's got more on this storm. And Ron, what are you seeing with it?
Let's put a track on it, Spencer, to give folks an idea of where this is going to go and who this is going to be impacting in the next few minutes. Again, as Spencer outlined, we've got a tornado warning now in effect. This is for Hardeman and McNairy County. It's going to remain until 7 o'clock this evening. Chester, Hardeman, and McNairy County included in this. Let me put a track on it, clear this off, and then let's show you where that rotation will likely be. This area right here looks like there was a pretty well-defined hook. It's moving off to the east, northeast. Spencer, what was the speed on that? About 45 miles per hour?
Yeah, about 45.
So with that, it's going to move into Hornsby in about 15 minutes. We'll see it get into Rose Creek in 24 minutes, 31 minutes before it moves into Bethel Springs, and then 44 minutes before it gets into Gilcrest. It should move into Morris Chapel in about 52 minutes. Now, we were also getting reports of some very large hail within these cells. I want to take a close look at this cell that is just to the southwest of that tornado warned cell. Spencer, I'm going to ask you to keep a close eye on that tornado warning for a second while I slice this storm, and let's take a look at the hail threat in there. The National Weather Service was reporting the potential of ping pong ball size hail. I'm not sure I'm seeing it in with that view. You may have a better view of it on the on your link system, but right now I'm not seeing that. Oh, there it is. Tell you what, let me flatten this out. Spencer, look, you're looking at some pretty large hail.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Yeah, this is with the storm that's in portions of southern Tennessee. So this is Hardeman and McNairy counties. We're looking at Hardeman, this purple area that I'm showing you right here. That's a large hail core that dropped with this storm as the tornado came out. So a lot of times with tornadic storms, you have intense lightning and you have large hail. We have both of those with these storms right now. In fact, I'm going to turn on the lightning counter, 39 lightning strikes. That's in this little core of this storm. So that's a lot of strikes in one small area. So we have the hail core right there. Again, we're looking at the BTI on this storm, and I can turn that on, and it's a 4.8 right now. So almost a 5 out of 10. So once you get up to about a 5 or a 6, that's a good indication at the very least that this storm is rotating pretty significantly in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And then as you go to the surface, sometimes that rotation can reach the surface. So if you're in the Sugar Hill area of parts of Hardeman County right now, you need to be in your safe place. Middleburg, Hickory Valley, this is just off to your east. I'm going to go back to the sheer swath. Here's where the rotation track has been with this so far. So very close. It started near Hickory Valley, and it's going to the north and east, just to the south of Bolivar. This is going to cross over the south side of Bolivar, and the current rotation right now, again, on the south side of Bolivar, this is just along and south of Highway 64. So if you are in any of these areas, we're mentioning heading into portions of McNairy County, go ahead and go to your safe place. Stay put until we give you the all clear. Ron?
And right now it is a radar indicated tornado. There is no visual confirmation. However, there's a lot of very heavy rain out there. It could be rain wrapped if it is making contact with the surface, making that difficult to see. The sun is also set, which makes it even trickier. So we have to rely considerably on the radar data. Tornado watch remains in effect until 10 o'clock tonight for the counties along and south of the I-40 corridor. That includes Memphis and Shelby County, and we've got a lot of activity on our first alert Doppler radar this evening. And heavy rain has been really the greatest concern so far. But right now, I want to keep a close eye on this area. And let me draw it out for you because I want to show you where I think the greater potential for the strong to severe storms will continue into the evening hours. This area right here, mainly northern Mississippi, and yeah, the counties in West Tennessee just to the south, but I think this rain that's moving through right now is going to help stabilize that atmosphere. But we've not had anything and in northern Mississippi, and we're going to see more moisture coming in out of the south and southwest. As the evening progresses, that's going to keep the threat of strong to severe storms in place and the potential for more isolated cells to rotate in this area. But right now, it looks like the greatest activity or the most intense activity is just to our east and primarily into northeastern Mississippi, West Tennessee, along and south of the I-40 corridor. Let me pan down just a little bit, and you'll get an idea, and you can just kind of see all the activity there. As I put this into motion, you can see it just really blow up as it moves into that area. And look at that. Those storms start off as little showers coming through Lafayette County and then really intensify as they move on in. And right now, that heavier precipitation, that is coming into play right there in Fayette County, Hardeman County, McNairy, now on into Marshall County as well. So once again, let me reset the picture, take you back, show you everybody and what we're dealing with. Mainly light rain in this area, light to moderate rain north of 40 in eastern Arkansas. If you are north of Memphis and West Tennessee, Tipton, Lauderdale, Dyer County, you're in great shape. It's this area that is along and south of I-40 where we're finding the stronger storms right now. And we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, but right now, one tornado warning, and that is in effect for Chester, Hardeman, also for McNairy County, and that is going to remain until 7 o'clock this evening. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning just outside of that for Chester, Hardeman, and McNairy. That's going to remain until 7 o'clock. And then we've got another warning coming in just behind that. That's for Benton, Fayette, and Marshall counties. That's going to go until 6:45. So we've got several hours of strong to severe storms that will be moving through the coverage area. Let me put my tools back on here, give you an idea of what we're looking at. Let's clear all of this information out. Right now, the strongest storms right here along the Mississippi-Tennessee state line. A lot of lightning in that cell too. Look at that, 54 strikes of lightning just within that little cell itself. Spencer, I see you've got the hail tracker on there. It looks pretty impressive too. These cells producing a lot of hail, it looks like. Spotty in places, but what are you seeing?
Yeah, the two cells that we have the severe thunderstorm warning on and the tornado warning on do have an indication that they've had large hail, and we've had a spotter report of quarter-size hail with the storm in North Mississippi. So you can see the two areas we're looking at. Here's area number one with the tornado warning in portions of Hardeman and McNairy County, large hail with that one, and then a secondary large hail area in North Mississippi. I'll zoom into that one. That's the one we saw quarter-size hail. And when I zoom in a little closer, you can see this is crossing over Highway 72 right now, so probably some hail between the Case and Sladen communities. You can see that it was falling back to the south and west of this as well. As I put the hail tracker on here, the hail swath, that's where it is. It started near Ingram's Mill and is now pushing to the north and east. So we've got two areas of large hail and one area of possible rotation up here in this tornado warning that's about to cross over Highway 64, and we'll turn the reflectivity back on here, and you can see that storm. If you're in between Bolivar and Hornsby, that's the area where you're going to see the large hail and the potential for rotation. So we're sticking with you right now on Action News 5 as this warning continues until 7 o'clock. Tornado warning for portions of Hardeman and McNairy counties. Stay in your safe spot until 7. Ron?
Spencer, can you hit that skit? There's a little line. You may see it on Spencer's map there. As a matter of fact, Sean, let's take Spencer's map, because the skit, that's that line you see that's called the Storm Center Identification and Track. And we get some incredible information from this. Notice at the very bottom where the cursor is, it says BTI. That's the Barron Tornado Indicator. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the greatest probability there's a tornado. This thing is holding at about a 4.8. That's an indication to us that, yes, there is rotation within this. It's when we see it right around a 7, 8, 9, that's a strong indicator that there is a tornado on the ground. But right now, that BTI, that Barron Tornado Indicator, close to a 5, and that's an indication there's some pretty good rotation. Also, notice right there in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it says severe NE 31 mph. That means it's moving to the northeast. It is a severe storm. It's moving to the northeast at about 31 miles per hour. It's got winds close to 60 miles an hour in it. That's that shear you see at 57.5. And it looks like it's topping out at about 8,000 feet with a heavier precipitation, but that top of the storm goes all the way to 28,000 feet. Just got some new data that came into play there. The hail size, there's a 90% likelihood there's hail in it, but only a 30% chance that that hail is severe in size. Spencer, you want to pick it up from there?
Yeah, and I just saw a report on Facebook of actual hail falling in Byhalia with this storm. So we have confirmed reports of hail with these storms up to quarter-size hail at the very least, and possibly a little bit larger than that. So hail is the number one threat, and then we've got this possible tornado that's radar indicated right now. It's not been indicated as being seen on the ground. And again, I'm going to zoom out. This is what we're looking at here, and I'm going to circle this for you so you have a better idea of where we're at. Memphis is way over here, and let me turn this off. Here's Memphis. Here is the tornado warning near Bolivar. So this is due east of Memphis in southern Tennessee that we're looking at, and that is Hardeman and McNairy County. The rotation is moving over Highway 64 as we speak. This is heading towards Silerton and Palestine. This is going to head toward the Bethel Springs area as well. I've had some reports of the tornado sirens going off in the city of Selmer. This is actually the rotation is just to your north and west. So you are in the warning area, so you need to be in your safe spot and just kind of sit tight until the storm passes. Go to the bottom part of the home and the interior of the home if you can, or if you have a storm shelter.
Yeah, and this is a night that I want you to keep in mind that a severe thunderstorm warning, if it is issued, it could produce rotation and a tornado with little, if any, notice, because we're entering what we call highly sheared environment. We got a strong southerly flow at the surface, but this whole system's trying to move to the east-northeast, and then we've got a cold front intersecting. So this is allowing the atmosphere to rotate, and as storms enter this, especially these little individual cells that we're watching, as they enter this highly sheared environment, they have the potential to rotate quickly. So that's when we want to watch this. Now, we've had a pretty good cap over much of the coverage area, especially from Memphis north. And basically a cap, it's almost like a lid on the atmosphere. As moisture is trying to rise, it just can't break through that. But now we're starting to see the cap weaken to some degree. We're still getting that instability trying to lift north. So as these storms develop in northern and northeastern Mississippi, they're going to have a better chance to break through that cap and expand and intensify. Let's put this into motion for you, show you the whole area, because we're really starting to see it come into play right now, especially into northern Mississippi. I want to keep a close eye on what's approaching Marvell back to the west. That's starting to show a little bowing segment there. As a matter of fact, I think I can zoom in on that. That's the track of the storm itself. But I want to zoom in on that and give you your first alert on when that's going to move in, and we'll put a track on that activity right now. Let me stop this, and then I'm going to put a track right here on this little area that's right there, because that is about to move on into Lee and Phillips counties, moving about 40 miles per hour. It's not severe, but I'm watching it because it has a potential to produce some strong wind with it. Holly Grove, 3 minutes away. Blackton, 14 minutes. 35 minutes from Marvell. 51 minutes from Mariana. That will move on into Wycamp in about just under an hour, and then 80 minutes before it gets into Helena. Tunica, 87 minutes away, and Pritchard, 102 minutes away. So this will likely hold together across the Mississippi River and then come on into play in northern Mississippi. As we take a look a little farther to the east, this is where we have all the activity right now, and we still have the tornado warning that's going to remain in effect until 7. That is for Hardeman and McNairy County. Taking a look at Memphis and Shelby County right now, it's just light to moderate rain. We're in good shape. There's been some thunder, there's been some lightning. The closest lightning to us right now, the strongest and heaviest, is right there along the Mississippi-Tennessee state line in Marshall and Fayette County, and that's about 56 strikes of lightning within that. Spencer, you're looking at the rotation track on this. Anything new? Any new data or info you're watching?
No, it looks like that rotation is weakening with that cell that's tornado warned right now, Ron, and they're noticing that from the National Weather Service too, so they may end up canceling this warning a little earlier. But the track of the rotation, you can pick it up well on our system here. In fact, as we take a look, we've got one rotation track moving through portions of Hardeman County. We've got a little bit of rotation with this cell that's moving into portions of southern Fayette County, but no formal warning for that cell right now. So we have the one tornado warning. If you're just joining us as of about 6:35, we have one tornado warning for portions of Hardeman and McNairy counties. This is between Bolivar and Middleton, heading into the Hornsby area, and this is heading into portions of northern parts of McNairy County. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warnings as well. And again, this area is kind of a training area of storms, so we're going to see a lot of heavy rain with this in this whole area, because one cell's moving through, another one's following right behind it. So Ron, we'll be watching both of these, and I've been watching the BTI on this, and it looks like it's still kind of holding at a 4.7 as of right now. So still something to watch, but thankfully it does look like it's weakening some.
Yeah, but as it continues to move through the atmosphere, that cell itself continues to rotate. So we're going to watch it closely. Let me show you the big picture, because, Spencer, we still have a lot of activity working right now. Tornado watch, it extends for much of central southern Arkansas, northern Mississippi, and along the I-40 corridor in West Tennessee and south. But we're likely to see this extended. Storm Prediction Center already talking about a new watch that will be farther downstream into Middle Tennessee, northern Alabama. So if you have friends or family around Huntsville or the Nashville area, you may want to give them a call and their first alert that these storms are coming their way. And we're going to see this activity continue to stream in from the southwest. And notice how these storms are really just starting to intensify right now in northern Mississippi. Now, there's a cold front that's trying to bear down on us. We'll actually see the wind shift around to the northeast overnight tonight. But in the meantime, it's all of this activity that's working its way through right now that's creating the bigger problems. We want to keep a close eye in northeastern Mississippi. And again, we're still watching these storms that are right here just north of the Mississippi state line, impacting parts of West Tennessee, Fayette and Hardeman County and McNairy County. That's where we have the active warnings. So just to outline it once again, I want to put another track on this one. I'm going to zoom in just a little tighter, so bear with me for just a second. I want to see if I can see anything in the way of significant rotation. As Spencer mentioned, these are weakening to some degree. I see a little bit, this little area right here. This looks more like a wet microburst or a little downdraft. In other words, you've got air coming out of the upper levels of the atmosphere, and then as it hits the ground, it just kind of spreads out. So that may be what we're seeing right here, but there is some rotation right there just to the north of Selmer. You saw that new scan that just came in. That's an indication that it is maybe weakening to some degree. Hail is also an issue with this system. And taking a look at the hail track, look at that right there north of Salisbury. That was in Hardeman County. Look at that, just under an inch in size, and that was in the mid levels of the atmosphere, and that was as it was coming through. That's the same track that it was coming through northern Marshall County, just to the south and west of that. The rest of the coverage area not dealing with much of anything in the way of hail, although we've had some reports to the National Weather Service of large hail in the area. Don't see anything around the Memphis metro, but we've certainly got a lot of precipitation. I want to show you this. This is spectrum width, and this takes a look at turbulence or instability within the atmosphere, and there's a lot of it that is just to our south. As a matter of fact, some pretty significant winds right here around parts of southern DeSoto and Tate County. This activity moving off to the northeast, so get ready for some strong gusting winds there. Also, I was watching the cell that was about to enter Lee and Phillips County back to the west, and there's some indication we're just on the periphery of the radar itself, but you can see some intensity right here. That could lead to some wind damage in that area. And then as I take a look, put it back, tell you what, let me go over here and take a look at these storms and see what the wind profile is doing to the east. Not a lot there. That is very encouraging, but it is certainly raining heavily in that area. Spencer mentioned that too. Look at this. Coming down right there around Hardeman County and eastern Hardeman County, just to the east of Bolivar. It's coming down at just over 2 3/4 inches per hour. Just to the north of Selmer, we're getting indications of right around 2 1/4 inches of rain per hour. The other aspect of this also, as Spencer mentioned, you've got these training echoes coming through. In other words, you get heavier rain right here, and then more comes in behind it. That could lead to flash flooding. So I want everyone, especially along Highway 64 in Hardeman County, McNairy County, just be aware that flooding is possible there as a result of the torrential rain that's still coming down. Spencer, you've outlined, 3, 4 different areas where we need to watch for storm development?
Yeah, sometimes when the radar gets this messy, Ron, it's important for people to be able to focus on those areas of storms. Let's show you what I'm talking about here, because there's kind of 4 areas right now that we're watching. One of those near Bolivar, heading into portions of McNairy County, and then as you go to the south of that, there's another cluster that's building here just north of New Albany, between New Albany and Holly Springs, and then another area coming out of eastern Arkansas. That area looks like a pretty intense cluster of storms with a lot of lightning. It's going to move into portions of Lee and Phillips County and eventually into Tunica County. So we'll watch these areas in this more favorable environment for the potential for severe storms. Again, the main threat's going to be high wind and hail, but some of these storms, like they are now, continue to try to rotate. It looks like they let that warning expire. Did they not?
Yeah, they did. As a matter of fact, they've just not let it expire. I think they've canceled it. It was expected to go to 7. They've canceled it. The severe thunderstorm warning still remains in place. I want to put this into motion. I want to give everybody a quick look, and I want to get you back to Wheel of Fortune as quickly as I can, but I do want you to be fully informed. It is a first alert weather day. We still have a lot of activity rolling through the Mid-South. I want you to stay weather aware. If you don't have the First Alert weather app on your smartphone or tablet, get it. Do it right now. It's a free download for Apple and Android products. You're going to get the interactive radar right there in the palm of your hand. Spencer and I will be glued to the radar through the night, so we'll be watching closely should any more warnings be issued, but you'll get your first alert to any additional warnings that may be issued later on tonight. And there's still a lot of activity to come as this whole system is yet to make its way through the Mid-South. Right now, just dealing with heavy rain, a couple of severe thunderstorms. Those are just to the east of Memphis, and right around Memphis and Shelby County, it's light to moderate rain. But we do have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. That's why it is very important that you stay aware through the rest of the evening. Spencer, any final thoughts to add before we get folks to Wheel of Fortune?
It looks like the BTI is going down to a 2.4. It was at a 4.8, so we are good to go. The rotation has weakened, so we will keep an eye on this, Ron.
Yeah, that BTI, that Barron Tornado Indicator, it's exclusive to us, and it is a great piece of technology to have, and it's one that's going to get a workout tonight for sure. We're going to continue to monitor this. We'll keep you updated on the air, on the web, and of course on the First Alert weather app. A lot of rain, only two severe thunderstorms working right now. No active tornado warnings, but there's still the possibility for some to develop. It is a First Alert weather day. Spencer and I will watch this. We'll have an update on the web and on Facebook coming up in a few minutes. In the meantime, let's get you to Wheel of Fortune, already in progress.